It only starts with one, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Montreal Canadiens, they are trailing 3-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We are all aware of this. But if you want to see an epic comeback, the one of the ages, because the only other time that it's happened is when we look at our provincial rivals in the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1942, reverse sweeping to win the Stanley Cup final. Well, it doesn't happen without a game. In Game 4, Josh Anderson, 3-2, OT win. The Montreal Canadiens take this one, and here we are to talk about it. Join alongside me, Alex, Justin, and myself, Mackie. Together we make the No Respek Podcast. Gentlemen, how are we today? How are we feeling about this win of the Montreal Canadiens? Are we starting to believe even more in this group, even though there's no belief to be there in the first place? Justin, let's start with you.
I mean, for sure. This is how comebacks start. You have to have one, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this game was more positive than we've seen in the first three games. I didn't think it was a perfect game by any means. I think we still had some areas to improve. We made some mistakes where we let Tampa Bay back in the game. But it was a good game by Carey Price. And that's really something I think is essential for us pulling this off, is Carey Price back on his game. So that was great to see.
Alex, yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good to still be alive. It's nice to know that we're going to have some more hockey. And like Justin mentioned, Carey Price, nice to see him have a good bounce back game. And I think and hope that Montreal can build off this. Now we have some confidence at least. We know we can beat Tampa Bay. And Price knows he can outplay Vasilevsky. I think he had a brutal 0-8 record against Vasilevsky. So hopefully this sparks something. If there's a playoff run for something like this to happen, it's going to be this one. Everything that can go right has gone right. Hopefully this keeps happening and we can pull off the miracle. It would be unbelievable. But it's just fun to keep watching this team play. It's unreal that they won it last night. And just amazing scenes at the Bell Center. And you were there, Maki, unreal. So, yeah, just great. It's awesome.
The Bell Center was electric. I was fortunate enough to go, as you mentioned, Alex. I do still have a voice. I don't know how, because I was yelling like there was no tomorrow. And because if we lost this game, like you mentioned, there was no tomorrow. It's golf time. And coming into this game, let's talk a little bit about the details here. Obviously, you're down 3-0, and there's a couple of changes that Deschamps makes. Notably, KK, the jersey that I wore last night to the game, was out, and Evans jumps in, and he was centering Byron, as well as, give me the last name here. It's Lehkonen.
Lehkonen,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Because that was a line that did well in the regular season, and obviously it's not an easy thing to come in with adjustments that you feel are going to fix something, because sometimes, I don't know if this is just on my side here, but I want to say that sometimes you try things, and even though it could have been the right decision on paper with all of the analytics, it's a risk. And the other side of the risk was bringing in Kulak and Romanov. And this is going away from a recipe that has worked for the Montreal Canadiens all of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know a lot of people think that it's an easy decision to make, but you're probably saying that after you've seen the game, after you've seen the result, and you say, oh, well, now you look. But if you look the other way, there's a lot of things that can happen. But either way, this was a gutsy call by Dominique Ducharme in this game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, where your back's against the wall. Not the start that the Montreal Canadiens wanted. We get the first goal, which was key. A huge feed by Nick Suzuki, that backhand sauce pass in front of the net. And then after that, we get a couple of breakdowns. That's been some of the things that we don't like to see for the Montreal Canadiens. But for you guys, is it really a question of Carey Price really stealing this one? What did you guys like about this performance particularly that gives you more confidence heading back to Tampa, hopefully before this hurricane or whatever tropical storm is going to happen? Let's start with you, Alex.
Yeah, look, I don't want to say that I'm confident heading to Tampa. Obviously, it's great that we won this game, but we did kind of squeak it out. Tampa did hit 3 posts, I think. And especially that Kucherov one with 2.5 or 3 minutes left, that could have ended our season right there. But like I mentioned earlier, I think now we know we can beat this team. We know they have some weaknesses. A guy like Suzuki took advantage of Ruda last night, and and Anderson as well on the OT winner. So Ruda got walked on both those goals, and it might not be the same Tampa team as last year. It was just dominant. And then to bring in a guy like Kulak and Romanov, obviously a risky decision, but these are guys who can play bigger minutes than a guy like Gustafsson while not being as much of a disaster defensively, which is huge against a team that now we've seen is just so deep and their offensive cycle is unbelievable that guys like Sherratt, Weber, they can't play their 35, 40 minutes a night. They need some of that support from guys who can eat more minutes. So, yeah, it was a risky call, but it worked out by Ducharme. And we're glad to see it. Romanov even coming up big with that goal. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say confidence, but there's something there. And we've seen this run all playoffs. And you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And hopefully we can steal one in Tampa.
Yeah, I think the addition of, well, the swapping of putting in Romanov and Kulak, obviously they have a lack of experience, and Merrill and Gustafsson are kind of like the safer bet, I would say. But when Kulak and Romanov are on their game, they can bring something so much more dynamic than those other two bring. They can really carry the puck up, be relatively good defensively. I mean, they still have some holes, like they on that goal. I think there was Pat Maroon. They kind of had a bad defensive lapse there that caused the goal, but that's going to happen. But they really provide something to the offense and provide kind of more dynamic play there. Something else about this game is the PK. I think we had, well, not even talking about the 4-minute penalty at the end of the game, but we had 5 PKs that game, and we went 5-0. So I think that was just, I mean, that's how we have to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. If they're getting power plays, they're more often than not going to score them. I think we did a good job of keeping them to the outside, not letting them in the slot. They still got some chances. I think they hit a post on the power play, but still, I mean, you take it when you can. They're 5-0 on a power play on a PK is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about the refereeing, but when you look at the game stats, I'm pretty sure that Tampa Bay had, I think, 10 minutes to 2 minutes of power play time in comparison to the Montreal Canadiens. That's a lopsided affair when it comes to those numbers. And when you have such a dangerous power play in the Lightning heading into the last minute with the Weber penalty, I can tell you from experience looking at that Bell Center, people were nervous. The Stanley Cup is in the building. They're obviously cleaning it up, getting it ready at that stage. Like the guys that are doing that job are like, okay, it's fucking finished. Now, there's a lot of comments, there's a lot of emotion that goes behind the fact that it's your captain, a guy that's been playing out of his goddamn mind when you compare what's been going on in the regular season and what he's been able to provide. He was a beast out there, at least physically. And that was a part of the game that we saw a little bit emerge a bit more in this game as the Canadiens were on the ropes. But I can tell you that from the experience that you have in seeing that 4-minute penalty called with 1 minute left in the third period, and you're one shot away, one post away, one shot by Andre Palat between the neck of Carey Price away of it all being over, and to be able to pull this off, and Josh Anderson with his second goal of the night. We needed a big night, and he was on a new line, of course, as we know. We didn't maybe mention it at the top of the show that we're doing right now here, but he slotted with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, the chemistry that at the beginning of the season with Joe Drouin. So it worked out great, and Ducharme looks like a genius today. I don't expect anything that much different because they got the W. So Justin, go ahead. I know you had a comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to say in that PK in the overtime, we had 3 minutes in the overtime there, 1 minute in the last minute of the third. Carey Price just held it down. Like there was a chance right in front in the slot. I think it was Anthony Cirelli, and Price got the save there. I don't know. I was like freaking the fuck out. I don't know how you survived in the Bell Center. It was insane. Just so nervous in that whole 3 minutes. But something I will say is that this is the TSN turning point. The 4-minute power play that we snuffed, that we killed, going into overtime as the rain starts fucking going crazy outside my house.
Yes.
That is the turning point of this series. Yeah. And I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, it's dramatic. Habs in 7. It's dramatic, especially the rain hits as soon as you talk about it. So that's crazy. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned the physicality, and I wanted to touch on that because I think that was a big part in us being able to win this game that had kind of gotten away from us to start this series. Again, obviously, I'm not advocating for attempting to injure guys, but guys like Kucherov and Point, it takes a toll on them. They're 20 games into the playoffs, Kucherov coming back from an injury. You have to punish these guys every chance you get. And guys like Weber and Sherratt were doing that last night, particularly Weber, who looked like he wanted to kill someone. But yeah, it's tough for these star players who have been having so much success that every shift be heading back to the bench sore or hurt. And I'm not saying it's going to stop them completely, but it can make them hesitate just that tiny second, and you lose that chance to make that pass or that shot. And those are the minimal, tiny little advantages we need if we want a chance in this series. And it gave us that last night. And I think the team has to keep up with that. Obviously, Tampa's a more skilled team than us, so we have to go with whatever advantage we have and have to keep doing that for 3 more games, 3 more wins.
I think the first 3 games, the Habs were too easy to play against. Like the Lightning were not getting punished for entering to the zone, for playing their game. Like they just had free reign in our offensive zone, and they weren't getting punished at all. So us coming back and really laying the body this game, especially with Shea Weber, it's, yeah, like you said, it made all the difference. And I feel bad for Braden Point in that game. Like he was getting railed by our defenseman and also got railed by a shot in the knee that looked like it really hurt. By his own player too.
Yeah. Again, this is a game that could have gone Tampa's way. We're aware, but the same way that game 2 for the Montreal Canadiens in Tampa could have went our way and should have went our way. This is the beauty of the Montreal Canadiens this year. It's the beauty of hockey. It's not always scripted. It's not always what you expect, but that's what makes it magical. And the Montreal Canadiens, their season is not yet over. Are the odds in our favor? No, but they haven't been in our favor since the beginning of these playoffs. So I don't know, guys, if you have anything else leading into game 5. Sorry, I was thinking about the game 2 victory that we were supposed to have there. But is there anything else that you guys need from this group to reproduce before we end this one off? And we'll be doing a live stream, actually, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to join us, a subscription, a like, all of those things are greatly appreciated. But we'll be live streaming tomorrow before the game. So, Alex, keys, reproductions.
Not a reproduction, but I don't know, man. No, there's nothing more this team has to do. Like they're playing at a level that we haven't seen from them all regular season. Obviously, the start of the series was tough, but Tampa's such a good team. We just have to take our chances when they come, hopefully get that first goal again, and Price has to play out of his mind. But we've been doing that most of the playoffs. Like now is not the time to be changing up our style, trying new things. We just have to play how we've been playing and hope it goes our way, and hope this miracle keeps going.
Justin?
Yeah, I think Alex said it. Like, getting the first goal is paramount for our success at this point, especially against Tampa Bay. It just seemed like, I mean, the beginning of the game, the first 10 minutes, we were getting absolutely dominated. Like, we had nothing going, and then we scored the goal, and we flipped the script like that. So when we have a lead, it's so much easier for us to play our game, and I think that's the key to victory in the rest of the series.
The one thing that I want to say that you hit, but I need to repeat, is it's Carey Price. Because Andrei Vasilevsky on the other side is a as good of a goaltender. Some may argue a better goaltender. The fact that he's in his prime right now, 26 years old, already has a cup, and he has a team surrounding him. Again, a team that's over $18 million in cap. I'm just going to bring it up one more time because as my Habs fan, that's a little bit jealous. But Carey Price is for me the key. Is that if he has another night like he did last night where he's the difference. Because if Vasilevsky had some big saves, but Carey Price was under siege for the beginning of the game. He came up in the big moments, and we need that. And we saw that in Game 3 where he wasn't on the top of his game, like completely, how much of a small difference that can make can turn into such a big difference with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So for me, that's going to be the key in that first goal, like you mentioned. On that note, one last quote from Jake Evans. I want to shout out Habs and High Heels, Priyanka Emrith on Twitter for all of these great quotes. But it's been a wild year with a lot of unexpected things for us. We've been such a close group, and we believe in each other. Whatever we get thrown at us, we're going to battle through, and I think that's what we kept doing this whole year. That's the way that we end this segment on YouTube, on a podcast. Again, together, we are the No Respek Podcast, and we'll be live streaming tomorrow around 6:15-ish, right before the game, maybe for an hour or so. So please come and join us, like, subscribe, all of those great things. We really appreciate the support. For Alex, for Justin, for Mackie, remind you to always respect the Orgasm Nation, and go Habs go, mesdames et messieurs. Let's get it.
Three more wins, continues.
Baby. Three away. Don't ever forget it.